Welcome back. Well, as we head into the busy holiday travel season, one issue gets a lot of people talking. So a woman went viral on TikTok after she refused to give up her window seat to a toddler. The passenger says she was sitting in her window seat when a family boarded. The child had an aisle seat and started crying, realizing that they didn't have a window view. So the parents pleaded with this passenger to trade seats, saying it was the only way to calm their daughter. The passenger stood firm and refused, saying that she paid for the window seat. So social media users divided over whether or not that was the right decision. But there are a lot of stories like this, right? We do have a live look this morning. You can't see it, but off in the distance there is Orlando International Airport, MCO. It's so cloudy and kind of foggy this morning. You can't see the tower. But we want to know, what drives you crazy when you fly? Is it excessive talking? Is it people that recline their seats into your lap? Is it when someone brings stinky food onto the plane? Log on, vote, and let us know. We've got a QR code. You just scan that. And our next guest is an expert in all of this. Brandon Blewett is here. He is a USA national best-selling author and head of M&A. Is it Pave America?
Pave America.
Pave America. And he just wrote a travel book called How to Avoid Strangers on Airplanes. Great to have you, Brandon. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So this is a great read for anybody who travels a lot. This is especially one on the plane that you would want to put your head into, and so that strangers wouldn't talk to you, right?
See the title?
I love it, yes, because it's part of the title, How to Avoid Strangers on Airplanes. Tell us, first of all, you travel a lot. Why do you travel so much?
So in my job, I am out scouting businesses to partner with at Pave America. So we go visit them, see them on site, meet them face to face, and then from there we decide if we want to do a deal. And then once we enter that process, there's a lot of negotiations, there's a lot of diligence, and then there's a lot of integration. So it's required weekly work travel for almost 15 years.
Wow. So 15 years of flight stories, and yes, that is packed into this book, which is very funny, by the way. There's lots of funny and quippy things, and if you follow him on Twitter or X, you'll see lots of funny things that you encounter along your travels as well. But so what made you decide, I want to write a book about this?
You know, my therapist said it would be a really good idea. She read my diary and said, hey, why don't you just publish this? Obviously, we cut some things out. It was partly cathartic, but also, you know, traveling as much as I do, I saw the parallels between literal travel and our professional journeys. Yeah. And you know, sometimes you feel like you're stuck in a holding pattern, there's turbulence, there's delays, but ultimately some of the best lessons you can learn are be able to laugh at yourself and your circumstances and keep a good sense of humor and know that, you know, there's a path and not every flight is your last flight.
You know, a lot of people do not want to talk to the person next to them on the airplane. But I can tell you love stories. One of our employees who has since moved on to Texas met her future husband on an airplane. They happened to be sitting next to each other and they struck up a conversation, right? Right. So it is kind of a balance, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And I think that you can sort of gauge the person next to you and what their interest is. If they don't immediately respond and, you know, respond with a question and keep the dialogue going, it's probably best just to read a book or, you know, put in your headphones.
Right.
But if they do engage, I've met several contacts that I've got, you know, I had a business card and it led to productive conversations down the road. So you never know.
Right, absolutely. What advice do you give to frequent travelers to make the process smoother and easier? Not everybody can afford to fly first class, right? And so certainly if you're going to be flying in coach, there are some certain things that can make your life easier, right? Yeah.
I think a couple of things are important. One is download the airline's app, because the app has all the latest and greatest information. People get upset when there's delays. You're going to be the first to know. You're going to have, if you turn on the push notifications, you'll be able to tell if there's a gate change, so you're not having to sprint down a long hallway. And then always bring in your carry-on at least some essentials in case your bag doesn't make it.
Yes.
Days worth change of clothes, essential toiletries, charging cords, those are all great things to have on you. And I think the best way to get through the stress is to maybe envision the process as a sitcom. When you start to take that viewpoint, yes, everything becomes a lot more entertaining and pleasant.
I take it you've seen the Seinfeld episode, right?
Yes.
Where Jerry's in first class and Elaine is in the back, right? That is a typical travel story. Okay, so favorite airport?
My favorite airport aesthetically is Detroit. Just the architecture, I think it's very beautiful. There's nothing like seeing the two-story windows and the big planes that are heading out to go for international flights. For convenience, actually, Columbus, Ohio was one of my favorite airports because small airport, but there were still amenities and our flights were always in and out of there on time.
And what do you think about MCO?
I like MCO.
Yeah.
What I like about MCO, we were talking about this beforehand, is that if you have clear and pre-check, the line is actually really short because the majority of travelers here are here for Disney and Universal and for tourism.
You know what I find, though, is more and more people are getting clear and pre-check now, and so now even those lines are getting long.
If you go through Atlanta, clear might as well be regular security.
I love it. Well, the book is great. Again, it's called How to Avoid Strangers on Airplanes. Brandon Blewett, great to have you with us. And you're actually in town to watch the SMU game?
I am going to the SMU game on Saturday versus Penn State. So go Ponies.
Fabulous.
It's been a fun year.
All right. Well, good. Well, congrats to your team and to you. And thank you so much for taking the time to come in and visit us this morning. All right. Let's head out to David right now. He is at World Equestrian Center in Ocala.